Shalom everyone, welcome to Messianic News Channel. Today I have an important teaching to share with all of you. We know that the end has been given since the beginning, and the Bible is like a perfect code with patterns of stories that happened thousands of years ago, repeated during the days of Yeshua, repeated after Yeshua, and are repeating again in the end of days. Everything is like a perfect cycle, like a perfect code with a tremendous wealth of knowledge and revelation if we know how to break the code. So today we're going to talk about a story that has to do with Abraham and Lot. A lot of people just go through the story and within 5 minutes they are done with the story and move on to the next book, the next story, or whatever. But they neglect the tremendous amount of prophetic information and Bible knowledge, Bible secrets and Bible codes. The Word is written in a precious code, and we need the guidance of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit, to help us unlock all these amazing mysteries. So let us go back to the story of Abraham and Lot and see what is talking about. So eventually they have an argument, the shepherds of Lot with the shepherds of Abraham, so they split. Lot goes into the world, Sodom and Gomorrah, very sinful place. While Abraham goes to live in the mountains where he can pray and he can worship the Creator. But eventually judgment comes and Sodom is about to be destroyed, so the angels go to rescue Lot. So let us do a little stop there. That's what we get on the literal sense. You know, Abraham is in the mountain, he's having a great time with Elohim, with Sarah, he's praying, Lot is in the world, judgment is coming, and the angels go to rescue Lot. But what's the meaning, the spiritual meaning of all this story? What's the meaning of Abraham in the mountain? What's the meaning of Lot going into the city? I'm going to share with you a revelation that Father gave me a long time ago. First of all, Abraham is a symbol of the awakened church, the awakened congregation. The story of Abraham and Lot is an apocalyptic story that foreshadows the end of days. So Abraham is the awakened church. When the judgment hits, he's no longer in the system, he's in a mountain that represents a higher spiritual reality. Even Yeshua talks about escaping to the mountains in another context. So Abraham is in a higher spiritual reality in the mountain. He's worshiping the Creator, so when the judgment hits, he's not affected. He's only watching the burning of Sodom and Gomorrah, while Lot symbolizes the sleepy church. So when the judgment comes in the end of days, there will be an awakened church that will be outside of the system. It will be in a higher spiritual reality, in a higher spiritual mountain, in the wilderness. And there will be another sleepy church that will be in the midst of a very wicked and sinful place, like Sodom and Gomorrah, the system, the cities. So the judgment comes. Abraham, that symbolizes the awakened church, nothing happens to him. He's immune because he's in a higher spiritual reality, walking with faith, listening to Elohim. But Lot, seduced by the possibility of making some money, trade, commerce, all of that, the scenes that the city can offer, and the enticement of the city. So he gets enticed by these pleasures of the city, so he moves to the city, Sodom and Gomorrah, a very evil and wicked place. So what happens is that the angels end up dragging him out of the city. And this will be the case of the sleepy church in the end of days. Many of them will need to be dragged because they will be so blind to perceive the judgment that the messengers of Elohim would need to drag them out of the city. But later on what happens is that his wife turns back, which goes against the commandment of the angel, because the angel says, just run for your lives and don't look back. But Lot's wife disobeys and looks back. That symbolizes the backsliding church, that as the judgment is coming and Father is calling his people out of the system, she's looking back into the pleasures of the city. So that's the backsliding church that is craving all of the temptations of the city, and she becomes a pillar of salt, so she dies. The backsliding church will perish in the tribulation, is very clear. Eventually, Lot goes to hide into a cave, and his daughters get him drunk. Drunkenness, in the spiritual sense, symbolizes false doctrines. So the sleepy church, as he's trying to leave Sodom and Gomorrah, gets slapped in the face and drunken with false doctrines. Abraham has a sound doctrine. The sleepy church will be believing in the rapture and all sorts of nonsense all over the place that is not going to help her at all. So what happens in that cave is, once Lot is drunk with these fake doctrines, in the biblical text is wine, he goes to sleep with his daughter, so he's practicing incest. So the sleepy congregation will be practicing fornication, which means idolatry, will not be focused in the truth of Elohim. So eventually, out of this incestuous relationship comes Ammon and Moab, two tribes that end up being enemies of Israel. So what we get from this picture is that the sleepy church is getting out of the system. Half of the sleepy church dies, which is Lot's wife, for being backsliding. Lot gets stricken with drunkenness, which is all of these false doctrines. He's practicing incest, which is like idolatry. And out of this union comes Ammon and Moab, two historical enemies of Israel. So what's going to happen is that when the judgment comes, the true believers will be protected in the wilderness. They will be in a mountain like Abraham, in a higher spiritual reality, while Lot is sleeping in the world, and the descendants of Lot, which is the descendants of the sleepy church, the product of this sleepy church, will end up being enemies of the true believers. So Ammon and Moab, descendants of Lot, of this incestuous relationship, ended up being enemies of Israel. So what's going to happen is the members of the sleepy church will turn against the true believers. This is the picture that is going to happen in the end of days. The fake believers that love the world, that take the mark of the beast, they will turn against the true believers. But Father will help and always protect the true believers. So, shalom and blessings to all of you. I hope you are walking in a high spiritual mountain, that Father is talking to you, and I pray that you are not the sleepy church sleeping into this world, because this world is going to suffer the fate of Sodom and Gomorrah. So wake up, repent, and stay sober for more Messianic news updates. Shalom, till the next one. Bye.